Okay, so there you go. So it's actually a notes completion type of question. So whatever information that you normally would write in a typical notes completion question, so that would also be the type of information that would be contained or that would be found in a table completion question. So the only difference is that the questions are presented in tabular form. So meaning to say, you will be seeing the questions grouped according to the type, okay, or according to types. So each column represents a particular type of question or particular type of information. And for you to be able to know what type of information it is, you can look at the heading or read the heading or information or types of information found in each column. All right? So for everyone, or for us to be on the same page, so this is how table completions would look like. All right, so pretty much the same as with notes completion. It's just that you may see 2, 3, or more columns. All right. Okay, let's have Gil. Can you read the next one? Okay, so there you go. All right, so basically your table completion, so as mentioned earlier, every column, so every information that is under one column shares, let's say, shares same feature. And for you to know what that feature is, you can read, or let's say, read your heading. Okay? So for instance, okay, so I need someone to read the first heading. Let's have Tam. Okay, so this one. Okay, so there. So the first column, it says day. And if you notice, the information under this column would be names of days. Okay, so Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturdays, and Sundays. So for example, let's say that instead of question 17 being under this category, let's say that question 17 is here. So we need to say, question 17's answer would be a name of a day or a day of a week. So there. So as simple as that. All right, so another example. So sometimes you may only be provided with 2 or 3 columns. So this is another example. So the first column would say transport. So this would give you an idea that the recording may contain or will contain information about transportation. Okay? And then cash fare, card fare. So what do you mean by cash fare? Let's have down. What's cash fare? Okay, so how much is the cost of the transport? Okay, in cash and in card. Alright, so let's try to check question number 6. So which category is question number 6 under? Let's have Livestream Lớp. Where's question number 6? Question number 6 is under. What category is question number 6 under? Which is it under? We have 3 categories, right? We have 3 columns. So where does question number 6 belong? What category? Cash fare. So question number 6 is under cash fare. So meaning to say, the answer for question number 6 should be an amount of money that customers would have to pay when they take advantage or when they use bus as their transport. Okay? What about question number 7? I need you to look at question number 7. So what do you think is the type of information that we should use to answer question 7? Let's have Liên. Time. Okay, so where is it under? What category is it under? It's under. We have three categories, right? We have transport, cash fare, and card fare. So question number 7 is under transport. We need to say this is one detail of this particular transport. So train in off-peak or at off-peak hours. So what hours are these? So it says here before 5 p.m. or after 1 p.m. So question number 7's answer should be a number. Okay? So what time? What about question number 8? Let's have, where is it under? Under? Is it under transport? Number 8. Okay, card fare. So how much? So we are still going to put an amount, but for this one. So we have cash and card. So in this case, we will have to look for how much someone should be paying for a train at off-peak hours in or using a card. So there. What about number 9? I need you to check question number 9. Let's have Ayan. Which category does number 9 belong to? Ayan. Number 9, which is it under? Where's number 9? Okay, so it's under transport. Now, looking at the question, what do you think is the type of information that should be found or that should be used as an answer? It says blank ferry. So what do you think is the type of information that should be used as an answer? What do you think is the kind of word that's missing for question number 9? Okay, let's have it. Question number 9.
But now,
And now? Are you sure it's a 9? We already have the word ferry. So do we need a noun? Could be technically a noun, but a noun used as an adjective, right? So we need to know what type of ferry is this. So example, number 10, if you notice it says here, tourist ferry, right? So tourist ferry. So most likely, this is also a type of a ferry, okay? Questions? Clear? So there. So this is what we have to do before listening to the recording. And your listening recording will prompt you to do this. So normally you will be given 30 seconds to a minute. Identify the questions. You can make notes. And as much as you can, try to highlight important information. In this case, you don't really need to highlight questions, or let's say questions that are under cash fare and card fare, because obviously if a question falls under them, so you would have to have a number. But what you can do, you can highlight information here for you to not get lost and for you to stay on focus. What is the instruction? Let's have, okay, let's have Tumbi. Can you read the instruction? Okay, so if you notice, the instruction tells you to write no more than one word and or a number. So what does this mean? B. One word and or a number. Okay, so your choices, you can write or you can use one word. What else? Okay, a number. So when you say one number, then it doesn't mean only one digit, okay? So for example, an amount of money, $20. So 20, this is considered a number. If it's a year, 1985, this is also counted as one number. So if the information that you need is a credit card number, this is still considered as one number, okay? What else, B? So one word, one number, or one word, and then plus one number. So there you go. So if you happen to see this instruction, so these are your options. So you can pick any of which. So if your answer is one word, it's okay. If your answer is a number, it's also fine. If your answer is a word plus a number, also correct. Okay? But it doesn't mean to say that if you see this, your answer will only be this. Okay? So it could be any of these. So if your answer exceeds one word, so that will be the time that your answer will not be considered correct. Alright, so even if the extra word is an article, or if it's a preposition, so those are still considered as one word. Okay? Alright, so how do we answer this type of question? So of course, the first thing that you need to do is to read the instruction. If you're someone forgetful, I would strongly recommend that you highlight the instructions. Okay? So the examination will not be lenient. So if it's one word, it should only be one word. Even if your answer is part of the correct answer, if you do not follow instructions, again, your answer will not be valid. Okay? Next one, number 2. What's that thing? Liên? Okay, so answer order. So from questions 1 up to question 40, the order of your answer will be in the same sequence as to how the questions are ordered. So question number 1's answer will be mentioned first by the speaker, followed by the answer for question number 2, and so on. However, the recording will not tell you which part will contain answers, which parts will not. So this is why you have to track information. Look at 2 questions at once. If you happen to hear the keywords for the next question, then skip, go to that question, and then also check the next question. All right, number 3, just the one in mode. Let's have, yeah, number 3. Yes. Okay, so for you to be able to identify what type of information you need in answering table completions, of course you will have to look at the column headings. So if it says fair or anything that has something to do with money, then your answer should be a number. So if you happen to see that the heading says year or date or time, so your answer falling under that category should have to be related to date or time expression. Alright, so for instance, so if you happen to see this, day, so if there is a question under this category, so the answer would be the name of a day of the week. Okay? Time, so time expression, so it could be a year, it could be time of the day, it could be a month, it could be a season. Try to just look at other types of answers under this category, or samples under that category. Event, what do you mean by event? Let's have none. Can you give me an example of an event? Okay, it could be a festival. What else? Okay, it could be a holiday. It could be a party, right? It could be a name of a movie. It could be an exhibition, right? So there. Venue. What do you mean by venue? Let's have Karma. What's venue? Venue. What's venue? Again? Road? Is it a road? Venue. It's avenue, Beaker. I think what you were pertaining to avenue. But what's venue? Place. So where these events are held. Okay, for example, one of the events mentioned in the table, or in this table, would be a movie. So where is this movie held? Or where can we see this movie? So that's what we mean by event. Okay? So ticket price, of course, how much is the ticket? There. So just try to check which category do the questions fall under, and then also at the same time look at the sample information under each category. So you can also tell what exactly are you looking for. Next one. So by using these, you can already predict what is the answer for each question. So example, for question 17, What do we need, Gil? Place for, or place where? Okay, so there. So we will not, every time, it doesn't mean to say that question number 17's answer is a place. So it doesn't mean that if we hear a name of a place, that would be the answer for question 17. So you'll have to study the table. You need to know how to read a table. Alright? So question number 17, you are to look for where the magic flute is held or is shown. Okay? So not any other type of venue or place. What about question number 18? What do we need? Let's have Jao. Question 18. Do we need a place? Number 18. Check again. Okay, there. So, question number 18, it has to be a name of an event, specifically a Canadian film. So we're going to look for the name of this Canadian film that is shown in Cinema 2 on Wednesdays. So there. Okay. What about question number 19? Let's have someone. What do we need for question number 19? How much is the ticket for? For Cinema 2 only? What if there are 5 movies shown at Cinema 2? Which movie? This Canadian film. Only for this Canadian film. Okay? So there could be traps in the recording. So by the way, for those who are new, the information from the recording will contain distractors. So when we say distractors, so they are answers that are valid. So let's say question number 18, you happen to see this Canadian film. However, you hear 2 Canadian films. So the other one should be a distractor, the other one is the correct answer. Okay? So question number 19, we would need to look for the ticket price of this Canadian film that is shown on Wednesdays. So try to read the table. So try to get information that would lead you to the answer. Okay? What about question number 20? Let's have Antoine. What do we need for question number 20? What do we need for question 20? Yes. Very easy, very simple. Look at question number 20. It's under okay, what about Liên? Question number 20. Okay. 20, number 20, here. Question number 20. What do we need? We need a name of an art exhibition. What else? What if we happen to hear 2 art exhibitions? Which one do we need? There might be distractors. You might hear 2 or 3 names of art exhibitions. Which art exhibition do we need? Okay, B. Which art exhibition do we need? B in black. Okay, so the one that is shown at 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays. So there. Okay, so try to know how to read a table. So the moment that you know how to read them, so the easier you analyze and identify the answers from the recording. Questions? No questions? By the way, guys, table completion is one of the easiest question types in the listening examination. So this is why most of the time you will be seeing table completion in section 1 and section 2, or in section 2 most of the time. So if you are going to be given table completion question, grab the chance as much as you can do not make any mistakes in this type of question. So question or section 3 and 4, anticipate that they will be much more difficult. Okay? All right, next one. Let's have number 5. Okay, all right. Now, it doesn't mean to say that whatever you see from your questionnaire, they would be the exact same words that you will hear from your recording. All right, so remember, in your recording, so it's either going to be in the form of a talk or a conversation. So whatever is mentioned by the speaker is not going to be exactly the same in the questionnaire. So your questionnaire will be in question form. So the questions can be in a form of a table, it can be in a form of WH questions, it can be in multiple choice questions, so do not expect that you will hear exact same words. Okay? So for instance, let's say that this is your question. So let's say you see the word Saturdays and Sundays in your table. So do not expect that you will hear this word. Could be, you will, but sometimes you won't. All right, so anticipate for their synonyms and anticipate how these might be paraphrased or how these might be paraphrased. So instead of hearing Saturday and Sunday, you might hear the word weekend. Okay? Or instead of hearing the word price, you may hear the word cost. They actually are synonymous. Okay, so do not rely too much on the words that you see from your questionnaire. Okay, next one. Let's have 10, number 6. Okay, problematic vocabulary. They're called problematic vocabulary because they might cause confusion on the candidate. All right. So normally when you say problematic vocabulary, these are types of answers that are considered to be problematic because there would always be distractors. Okay. Let's say the correct answer is a time expression. Let's say that you need a time of the day. But in the recording, you don't hear only one particular time of the day. You might hear 3 or 4. So the question, which one? So you'll have to pick the right answer. So let's say price. So you might be hearing 4 or 3 different types of prices. So again, the question, which one? So just to give you an example, let's have someone read the sentence. Let's see if we have online. Do we have Dukdat 0626? Dukdat, are you there?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Can you read our sample sentence? This one.
Here are some the leafage states that the structural characteristic is in the gallery 1, but it is in fact in gallery 2.
Okay, so there you go. All right, so let's say that we're looking, or the question looks for the place for the sculpture exhibition. Okay, so initially you hear the phrase, it's in gallery 1. And then you decided to stop listening because you already got what you want. So you were focused in writing gallery 1 as your answer. And you did not anymore listen to the rest of the statement. So if your answer would be gallery 1, your answer is correct. Gallery 1 satisfies the need of the answer, so this is still a place, but it's not the place where the sculpture exhibition is. So the answer should be gallery 2. So there. So gallery 1 is what we call a distractor. And distractors are very common if the type of answers that you're looking for are any, or is any of this, or of these. Okay? So do not expect only one number. Do not only expect one time expression. There will be more. Okay? And depending on how you understand, depending on your level of comprehension, it will basically affect the way that you find answers. Next one, let's have one. Can you read the next question? This one. How do you read this? 5. Cannot read this? If you can't read amounts, guys, how will you be able to identify them if they're the right answer? How do we read them? Let's ask how. Let's have Dan. How do we read this? Again? Do we read this as 5.5 pounds? We don't read it that way. So another person, let's have Dow. How do we read this? Dow. How do we read this? Do we read this as 5.5 pounds? We don't. Yes. How? Okay, so we can read it as 5.50 pounds, or what else? How else? 5 pounds, 50. So there. Okay, continue, Tuan. Again, read it again. The usual price. Yes, make your voice louder. 50. Okay, continue. Sending. Expectations. £4. 50. Okay. So what if the question asks you, how much is the ticket price for Great Expectations? What is the answer? How much is the ticket price for Great Expectations? Leanne. How much is the ticket price? I hope everyone is looking at my screen, not something else, okay? Okay, is it correct? Is it £5.50? Come on. Is his answer correct? It's not. Okay, so what's the correct answer? Again? You have the same answer. Is it 5.5? I'm asking for the ticket for Great Expectations. So if your answer is £5.50, definitely incorrect. How much is the ticket price for Great Expectations? 10. It's here. It's reduced to £4.50. Very simple question. Okay, we don't want to miss this kind of question because this is really easy. Okay, we don't want to make mistakes on very simple questions. So you have to understand what you're reading. You have to understand what you're listening. Alright? Okay. So both amounts can be answers, but there is only one correct answer. And that's something that you need to find out. Okay? So if you don't read what is the question, or if you don't understand the question, or if you do not listen to what is the information from the recording, no matter how simple the question is, you will not get the right answer. Okay? So listen, focus, you have to know what you're looking for. Alright? Okay, next one. Let's have one. Can you read the third question? The performance. Okay, so question. When does the magic flute start? What time? What time does the magic flute start? Let's have... Okay, yeah. What time does the magic flute start? Okay, which one? Is it 7 or 7:30? Okay, so there you go. So the start time of the magic flute is actually 7:30. What's 7 o'clock? What happens at 7 o'clock? What's up, Liên? What happens at 7 o'clock? We have 7 o'clock, we have 7 p.m., we have 7 o'clock, we have 7:30. So 7:30 is the start time of the magic flute. But what happens at 7 p.m.? Liên, what happens at 7 p.m.? Does it start at 7 p.m.? No, I just said that. It starts at 7:30. What happens at 7 p.m.? Jao. Okay, so this is the time that they start accepting guests. So the doors open at 7 p.m., but the curtain goes up. So when you say the curtain goes up, so it means that the show will start. So it starts at 7:30, but they accept guests at 7 p.m. Or they start accepting guests at 7 p.m. Questions? Clear? So 2 answers, but only 1 correct answer. The other one is called a distractor. Alright? Okay, again, if all else fails, no matter how you tried, you still were not able to identify the right answer. So the last thing that you need to do will be to guess. But do not guess while the recording is playing. Okay? So the more that you will miss answers, so you will guess after the section ends. So normally after every section, the prompt will tell you to check your answers again. So that would be the time that you guess. And then how do you guess? Ken? How do we guess again? Do we guess randomly? So how do we guess? Okay, perfect. So we have to guess logically. If the answer is a time expression in, let's say, hours of the day, so you have to use that type of information as an answer. Okay? You may not be able to know what exactly is the right answer, but when you guess, you have to guess logically by looking for clues. Understood? Questions? No questions? All right. Okay, so let's start with an easy one. So what I need you to do is to study the following question. Let me have someone read the instruction. Let's have someone read. Can you read the instruction for us? Okay, so write no more than 2 words for each answer. So everyone, if you have a sheet of paper, grab a sheet of paper, or if not, you can open a notepad app. Number your paper from 1 to 10. Okay, let me have someone from online. I'll be playing the recording for a few seconds. Let me know if you can hear them. Hold on. Give me a sec. Hold on, guys. Okay, let's have Kevin. Kevin, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, let me know if you can hear the recording, okay?
You will hear a number of different recordings and you will have...
Can you hear it?
Yes, I can.
Okay, everyone study the questions and then number your paper from 1 to 10.
You will hear...
Alright? We'll start.
You will hear a number of different recordings and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 sections. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Now turn to Section 1. Section 1. You will hear a telephone conversation between a travel company employee and a customer. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. You will see that there is an example which has been done for you. On this occasion only, the conversation relating to this will be played first.
Hello?
Hi, good morning. This is Talia from Paradise Travel Agency. Is Robert Goddard there?
Yes, speaking.
The man says that he is Robert Goddard, so Robert Goddard has been written in the space. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Hello?
Hi, good morning. This is Talia from Paradise Travel Agency. Is Robert Goddard there?
Yes, speaking.
I'm so sorry that I made such an early phone call, and I'm calling to ask a few questions about your most recent vacation. Could I have 5 minutes of your time?
Sure thing.
Great, thanks. Now, I see here that you visited Melbourne. Was this your first visit to Melbourne?
No, I have actually been there twice before.
I see. Now, what would you say was your favourite part about Melbourne?
Well, I did like seeing the exotic wildlife, and there are great sights to see, but I have to say I was most impressed by the amazing weather.
Yeah, the weather there is amazing. Which of the sites listed as part of our official tour did you see? And of those, which was your favourite?
First I saw the theatre, which was beautifully designed. It was not nearly as cool as the town hall though. The building is a huge part of Melbourne's history. definitely my favorite. I saw the aquarium too, but wasn't too impressed.
I see. Yes, people often have great reviews of town halls. Now, I would like to ask you about your dining experience. Did you enjoy the food there?
Absolutely, I loved it.
I'm glad to hear it. Could you tell me a little bit about what you most enjoyed about the food?
Being such an international city, I loved the variety. I could find any type of food I wanted, whether I wanted seafood, burgers, or anything else. You name it, and they had it.
Did you drive to Melbourne?
No, I flew. I thought about going by train, but in the interest of time, I decided to go by plane.
Right, I see.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 6 to 10.
And would you mind telling me whether you are under 20, between the ages of 20 and 40, or older than 40?
It would be nice if I was still under 20. My vacation probably would have been quite different. Actually, though, I just turned 41 last week.
Oh, happy birthday! So, did you treat yourself and fly first class?
No way. I would love to have a budget that high. I'm more in the mid-range income level. I wasn't always, though. I spent much of my life in a low-income household.
I see. That answers my next question then, of income level. And what was the purpose of this visit?
I had to go there on business a lot before and decided I would go there for tourism this time.
I see. And what is your occupation?
I am mainly a computer programmer. I also write for a travel magazine on the side, which is why I visited Melbourne before, but it's not my main source of income.
I see. Wow, it sounds like you work a lot.
Yes, I am very busy, which is exactly why I took a nice week-long vacation to Melbourne.
I completely agree. Would you care to comment on your accommodation?
My hotel was a good value. Staying in the city can get really expensive, so it was nice to find such a good price for the location and quality. I'm glad I didn't end up in some cheap motel in the middle of nowhere.
I'm glad you didn't either. Well, thank you for taking part in our survey, and I'm glad you enjoyed your vacation.
No problem. Take care.
Okay, let's answer.
That is the end of section 1. You now...
Alright, so this is an example of what we call note or form, pretty much similar to tables. So this is an easy way to present information in a table, but basically the same way to answer. Alright, so question number 1, let's have to hand. What is your answer? Twice. So you write the word twice like this. Okay, so the question here says total number. So your answer should be a number. Okay, so your answer is 2. Okay, next one. Okay, let me have someone from online this time. Let's have, who are in, okay, let's have from Lynn, 0726.
Yes.
Yes, number 2 here, what's your answer?
I think it's amazing weather.
Amazing
Weather.
weather. Okay, thank you. Next one, another online. Let's have. We have another person online. Who's Duan HD? Is Duan here? Duan HD. Ha Juan? Are you here? Okay, can you answer number 3 here? Number 3? No answer? Okay, what about Queen Book? Are you book? Okay, can you answer number 3? No answer? What is your answer? What is your answer again? Theater? Okay, that's one. Number 4. Let's have, let's see who else are here. Okay, look at 0725. 0725, look at. Look at, are you with us? Look at is out. Okay, Nguyen. Number 4. Yes. Pricey? Like this, pricey? Alright, that's one. Number 5. Let's have you. Plain. Okay, next one, number 6. Let's have Taman. I'm sorry. Over 40. Okay. Next one, number 7. Let's have Judith. Mid. Spelling. Spelling. How do you spell it? Okay, you can type in the chat. Type your answer in the chat. Send it to everyone. Mid. Like this, mid run. Okay. Number 8. Let's have one. Alright, next one, number 9. Let's have B in white. B. Computer program. Like this, program. Okay. Number 10. Let's have Canva. What about Java? She, hotel, this. Okay, all right. Now, before we listen and confirm if your answers are correct, so let's look at the type of information that we are supposed to watch out for. So question number 1, we need to have a number. So according to question number 1, you need the total number of visits to Melbourne. So next one, number 2, best thing about the city. So this is how it have to be something positive. And it should be the best thing. Okay. Number 3, attraction. So what do you mean by attraction? What's that to add? What's attraction? So it's something that makes people visit, right? Attracts people. So it could be a person. It could be an animal, right? It could be a place. So there. So what was a person's favorite attraction? Next one, number 4. So according to question 4, best thing about the destination's dining option. Now look at question number 4. It's pricey. So it says your best thing, and then your answer is pricey. Do you think this will be correct? Not really, right? So when you say if it's pricey, is it positive or negative? Is it something good or something bad? If it's pricey, it's actually negative. So it does not coincide with the need of the question. So if this is your answer, most likely this is not really right. Okay? Next one, method of transport. So we need a type of transport. So this could be correct. Age group, over 40, yeah, could be. Income level, mid-rank. What's mid-rank? So there's no such word as mid-rank. Okay. So what do you mean by income level? What's man? What's income level? Income level means okay, what about what do you mean by income level? I'm not asking for the answer, I'm asking what income level is. What's income level? Yes. Price? Is it price? What do you mean by income? What's income? Salary. How much? So group category. Okay. All right. Next one, number 8. Purpose of visit. It simply means why did the person visit Melbourne? So this reason. Number 9. Occupation. What do you mean by occupation? And occupation means occupation. What's another name for occupation? Job. So what was the person's job? Okay. So he's a writer and computer program. This is not a job. It should be a job. What is he? Okay. Number 10. Opinion. So this should be an adjective. She could be. Alright. But then again, we have to base our answer from what we exactly hear from the recording. So let's double check if the answers are correct. And then also take note, your answer should not be more than 2 words. Okay, let's listen.
I'll have half a minute. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 sections. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Now turn to section 1. Section 1. You will hear a telephone conversation between a travel company employee and a customer. First, you have some time to look at question. The conversation relating to this will be played first.
Hello?
Hi, good morning. This is Talia from Paradise Travel Agency. Is Robert Goddard there?
Yes, speaking.
The man says that he is Robert Goddard, so Robert Goddard has been written in the space. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Hello?
Hi, good morning. This is Talia from Paradise Travel Agency. Is Robert Goddard there?
Yes, speaking.
I'm so sorry that I made such an early phone call, and I'm calling to ask a few questions about your most recent vacation. Could I have 5 minutes of your time?
Sure thing.
Great, thanks. Now, I see here that you visited Melbourne. Was this your first visit to Melbourne?
No, I have actually been there twice before.
I see.
Okay,
Now, what
so
would you...
according to the recording, he's been there twice, but there is the word before. What does that mean? I've been there twice before. So what do you think then? So the total number of visits should be 3. Okay, prior to his most recent visit, he has visited Melbourne twice already. So plus his recent visit, so the total number of visits should be 3 times already. 3, not 2. Okay, so that is why listen, understand what the speaker says. Before the visit, before the most recent visit, he's been there twice before. All right. Questions? No questions? All right. So let's
What
continue.
was your favourite part about Melbourne?
Okay.
Well, I did like seeing the exotic wildlife, and there are great sights to see, but I have to say I was most impressed by the amazing weather.
Okay, best
Yeah.
thing, most impressed about the amazing weather. So the correct answer is amazing weather, or if your answer is weather, it's also okay. So again, either amazing weather or the weather. It's fine. Okay. Next one.
The weather there is amazing. Which of the sites listed as part of our official tour did you see? And of those, which was your favourite?
First I saw the theatre, which was beautifully designed. It was not nearly as cool as the town hall though. The building is a huge part of Melbourne's history. Definitely my favourite.
Okay, is the theater
I
his
saw the
favorite?
aquarium.
Was it the theater? Man? Was the theater his favorite? Yes or no? It's actually not. Okay, listen again.
See, but I have to say I was most impressed by the amazing weather.
Now, I see here that you visited Melbourne.
Most impressed by the amazing weather.
Yeah, the weather there is amazing. Which of the sites listed as part of our official tour did you see? And of those, which was your
Which
favourite?
was your favorite?
First I saw the
You
theatre,
saw the
which was
theater.
beautifully designed. It was not nearly as cool as the town hall though.
It's
The
not
building is a
nearly
huge
as
part of-
cool as the town hall. So was the theater his favorite? Not the theater. It's actually the town hall.
Melbourne's history. Definitely my favourite.
Definitely
I saw
my
the
favorite.
aquarium
So
too,
the correct
but wasn't-
answer is not theater. Instead, it's the town hall. Town hall. Okay. Theater is actually an example of a distractor. It's not what we need.
Very impressed.
I see. Yes, people often have great reviews of town halls. Now, I would like to ask you about your
Okay, when you say dining, what do you mean by dining? Boy. Dining means food. Okay, so anything that has something to do with food, dining. Okay, not dinner, dining. Okay.
dining experience. Did you enjoy the food there?
Absolutely, I loved it.
I'm glad to hear it. Could you tell me a little bit about what you most enjoyed about the
Most
food?
enjoy. That's
Being
it.
such an international city, I loved the variety.
Okay.
I could find any type of food I
What does he
wanted.
like?
What?
What does he like, Sean? I don't even know. Variety. He likes the variety of the food there. Next one.
Dining experience. Did you enjoy the food there?
Absolutely, I loved it.
I'm glad to hear it. Could you tell me a little bit about what you most enjoyed about the food?
Being such an international city, I loved the variety. I could find any type of food I wanted. Whether I wanted seafood, burgers, or anything else. You name it, and they had it.
Did you drive to Melbourne?
Okay, drive.
No, I flew. I thought about going by train, but in the interest of time, I decided to go by plane.
Okay, so
Right,
you decided to go by plane. This is correct. Next
Before
one.
you hear the rest of the conversation,
Potty.
It would be nice if...
Telling me whether you are under 20, between the ages of 20 and 40, or older than 40.
It would be nice if I was still under 20. My vacation probably would have been quite different. Actually, though, I just turned 41 last week.
Okay, so
Oh.
he's 41. So he should be over 40. So this is correct. Next one.
Well, happy birthday. So, did you treat yourself and fly first class?
No way. I would love to have a budget that high. I'm more in the mid-range income level.
Okay, here you
I wasn't
said-
always.
Is it mid-range? Mid-range. How do we spell mid-range? Let's have, yeah.
R I N
Okay, so mid range. Okay. Next one.
Is that I spent much of my life in a low-income household.
I see. That answers my next question then of income level. And what was the purpose of this
Okay,
visit?
why?
I had to go there on business a lot before and decided I would go there. Tourism this time.
Tourism, number 8.
I see. And what is your occupation?
Occupation.
I am mainly a computer programmer. I
Okay,
also-
so he is a computer programmer. So there. Computer program, we're looking for what he is. So, and then also try to check for clues. So it says here writer. So your answer has to be similar to this. Okay. Last one. What was his opinion of his accommodation?
Like for a travel magazine on the side, which is why I visited Melbourne before, but it's not my main source of income.
I see. Wow, it sounds like you work a lot.
Yes, I am very busy, which is exactly why I took a nice week-long vacation to Melbourne.
I completely agree. Would you care to comment on your accommodation?
Accommodation.
My hotel was a good value. Staying in the city can
He
get...
said this hotel was a good value. So, good value is a possible answer. Good value. Okay, so and then you can actually listen if there are no changes.
really expensive, so it was nice to find such a good price for the location and quality.
All right, he also said good price. Okay, so now, if your answer is good value, it's okay. You can opt that. If your answer is good price, that's also fine. But you only have to pick which one. So it's either good price or good value. Okay. Questions? No questions? Okay, tell me your score. And then send your score here. You don't have to send it to everyone. Send your score here in this account. Out of 10, how many points did you get? I'll be reading the names of those who submitted. I will not be reading the scores though. So far, I have Mon, V, Tungvi, 0636V, Nguyen, Punglin, Van, Zhao, Tao An, Sean, Viet, okay, Kan Ngok, 0725 and 0626 Trio. What about the rest? I only have those people who submitted. What about the rest? What are your scores? Okay, we have Lynn. What about the rest? Those who I did not call. Also online, there are some online students who did not submit. We have Kanlin, we have none. Okay, cool. So there. Questions? Any questions? Okay, so far you did well actually. So most of you actually got 7. So there. So this is the easiest, this is section 1. As much as you can, if you can, try to perfect section 1. Okay? Alright, now this time. Let's do the table completion. Alright, so the first category would be years, the first column, and then the second column would be information about events that had taken place in these years. I will be giving you a minute, study the questions. And then number your paper from 11 to 17. Again, number your paper from 11 to 17. Are we good? Okay, let's start.
You'll hear a lecturer talking to students about the ozone layer and CFCs. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 17. Now, listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 17.
Today, it is well known that CFCs, or chlorofluorocarbons, can do immense damage to the ozone layer, which protects the Earth from harmful radiation from the sun. However, it was as recently as the mid-1970s when the connection between CFCs and ozone layer destruction was first established. The story starts back in 1957, when James Lovelock invented the electron capture detector. This is a machine that can detect very small amounts of a chemical compound in the atmosphere. Indeed, using the machine, it was Lovelock who was the first person to detect the widespread presence of CFCs in the Earth's atmosphere. In 1973, Lovelock, on a research trip which he funded himself, measured the amount of CFCs in the atmosphere in the Arctic and in Antarctica, but unfortunately came to the wrong conclusion that CFCs are not harmful to the environment. Following on from this work, though, in 1974, Sherry Rowland and Mario Molina published the very first scientific paper on the connection between CFCs and ozone depletion. This quickly prompted the world's first ban on the use of CFCs, which was enacted in 1975 by the US state of Oregon. Further bans followed. In 1978, the United States and several European countries banned the use of CFCs in spray cans. CFCs were still allowed to be used, though, for refrigeration and in solvents. It was in the mid-1980s that scientists in Antarctica observed a huge depletion in the ozone layer above them, often called the hole in the ozone layer. This led, in 1987, to the signing of the Montreal Protocol, which called for further reductions in the production and use of CFCs, and then, 2 years later, to a European Union agreement to ban the production of all CFCs by the end of the century.
Okay, so let's answer. All right, so in this type of table, you can actually notice that you will have to consider grammar, because you will have to fill in missing information from phrases and short sentences. Okay, so if you will be receiving this type of table, then you will have to consider grammar. All right. Okay, question number 11.
You'll hear a lecturer talking to students about the ozone layer.
Okay, let's have B in black. What is your answer? I'm sorry. 1957. Okay. Next one, number 12. Let's have Mon. You missed. What about question 13? Harmful. Like this. Harmful. Like this. Okay. Next one, number 14. Let's have Tumi. Again, scientific. All right, next one. Scientific. All right, next one, number 15. I'm wrong. 15. Alright, next one, number 16. What's up, Sam? 19. Like this. Alright, next one, 17. Okay. Okay, what about the end? Century. Like this. The century? You mean? Okay. Okay, alright, now let's listen. Let's double check your answers. What about number 12? Number 12. What's up, high end? Number 12, what is your answer? None? Come on. You miss? Yeah. Go. Answer. Okay, no one. Let's listen. Everyone should keep their phones. What are you looking at in your phones?
And CFCs. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 17.
Or chlorofluor.
Now, listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 17.
Today, it is well known that CFCs, or chlorofluorocarbons, can do immense damage to the ozone layer, which protects the Earth from harmful radiation from the sun. However, it was as recently as the mid-1970s when the connection between CFCs and ozone layer destruction was first established. The story starts back in 1957, when James Lovelock invented the electron capture detector.
Okay, so this is correct. So 1957 was the year that James Lovelock invented the electron capture detector. So number 11's answer is correct. Next one. 1973. What happened in 1973?
That can detect very small amounts of a chemical compound in the atmosphere. Indeed, using the machine, it was Lovelock who was the first person to detect the widespread presence of CFCs in the Earth's atmosphere. In 1973, Lovelock, on a research trip which he funded himself,
Okay, he
measured
funded
the-
himself a research trip. So the correct answer is research trip. On a research trip that he funded himself. So Lovelock one self-funded the same. So research trip. There. Let's continue.
of CFCs in the atmosphere in the Arctic and in Antarctica.
What was his
But
conclusion?
unfortunately came to the wrong conclusion that CFCs are not harmful to the environment.
Okay, so his conclusion was CFC was not harmful. So CFC not harmful. It's the other way around.
Following on from this work, though, in 1974,
1974.
Sherry Rowland and Mario Molina
Molina.
published the very first scientific paper on the
Okay.
connection between
So they
CFCs
established or published the world's first scientific paper. Next one.
and ozone depletion. This quickly prompted the world's first ban on the use of CFCs,
Okay.
which was enacted in 1975 by
1975
the US
first ban of
State.
CFCs.
Further bans followed.
1978.
In 1978, the United States and several European countries banned the use of CFCs in spray
In
cans.
spray cans. Spray cans. They banned them.
CFCs were still allowed to be used, though, for refrigeration and in solvents. It was in the mid-1980s that scientists in Antarctica
Okay, so
observed
1980.
the ozone.
But if your answer is mid, if you're going to put mid here, mid-1980s, it's also fine.
ozone layer above them, often called the hole in the ozone layer. This led in 1987 to the signing of the Montreal Protocol, which called for further reductions in the production and use of CFCs. And then, 2 years later,
2 years later,
the European
1989.
Union banned the production of all CFCs by the end of the century.
Okay, the century. So there you go. All right, so I need you to send your scores. So there are a total of 7 points. So same account. So send your answer, send your score here. So out of 7, how many did you get? This is actually section 2. Okay. So we have Bia, we have Zhao, we have Lin, we have Tang An, we have Yo, 066V, Tao An, 1. What about the others? Out of 7? Okay, so most of you actually got either 4 or 5, so in the middle. Okay, so questions? Questions so far? So try to check, guys, if your table or your notes would need grammar or not. So in this case, most of these questions need grammar. So when you anticipate for the right answers, also consider the grammatical structure of the phrase or the sentence. We have any questions so far? None? Okay. So let's do the full test. So everyone, no phones. Keep your phones. I don't want to see any phones on your desk, on your lap. No phone should be visible. All right. I will check first if online can hear the recording. Give me 1 second. Okay, I will be asking someone from online to turn if he can hear the recording.
You will hear a number of different recordings.
Okay, all right, so let's have Lynn.
Yes.
You can hear the recording, all right. And then here's the link.
Yes, I can.
Okay, the link not in here.
Okay.
Please, my laptop is a bit slow. Okay, everyone, also access. You should be able to see the first page. Let me know if you can open the first page. Do not stay at the login page. I need you to go to the first page right away. Can you open the first page? You see it? Again, guys, you have to log in. Do not stay at the login page. Is it there? You can. Okay, so everyone, let's start.
And you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 parts. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Now turn to part 1. Part 1.